Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It's Monday morning. Thank you guys so much for being here. Last night, we actually did a live stream where we watched and reacted to Deaven Clegg actually live doing her makeup and yelling about TLC.
They don't pay us that much money at all. They pay us $1,000 an episode. And then you're not even on every episode. It's like literally so little. And then like they make like, swear to God, they're making like 50 million an episode or something. I'm not sure, don't quote me on that, I'm not sure. But they make like so much an episode, and then they pay us like freaking only $1,000 an episode, and then we have to like pay taxes out of that, so it's like really like 700. You know, so like we're probably only making like 6,000 a season. It's ridiculous, while they're like over here making like bank.
TLC. Now, this could be in response to the fact that TLC sources have been leaking information about how difficult it was to film with her. All right, so before we get started, please do me a favor by subscribing to my channel down here, as well as giving this video a thumbs up. And if you like this content, please share it with your friends. Okay, so Deaven and Jehoon, it's been this wild saga. Now, on the show has been far less dramatic than what we're actually seeing offline, because offline we're seeing the real time of what happened. They are not together and they are getting divorced. Deaven has moved on with a new man named Topher. His actual real name is Christopher, who she says is an accountant. They are now apparently super happy. She was in Los Angeles over the weekend at a wedding. Now, while this was all going on, she decided to go live on her Instagram for more than an hour while she actually put on her makeup, yelled at people online who called her a liar, and defended the fact that she was a good parent, and said that TLC was actually paying for Drusilla to get help, which I said I doubt that. I really don't believe that.
TLC's paying for therapy for her because they know what happened, because Jihoon's admitted to it to them. But he's going to go online and say, oh, I didn't do that. Like, that didn't happen. I haven't seen my son in a year. This doesn't give a son. I have screenshots, messages. He would call me and be like, I don't want to see my son. I don't care about him. If he ever meets me, I'm going to tell him that I'm his uncle. He's a American. Just raise him as an American because Americans, all this stuff. He's not going to give a son. Okay? He does not give a son. He hasn't messaged us in months. We try and get a hold of him. He has us blocked on everything.
So why would she be reacting to this? Okay. So Soap Dirt actually spoke to a source connected to production at 90 Day Fiance. And here is what they had to say. They say that Deaven was very difficult to work with. They said that Drusilla's behavior seen on the show was just the tip of the iceberg, and that Deaven was very unbothered by this behavior, despite the fact that production claimed that she was hard to handle. So we met them in very first season that Deaven appeared on, and Drusilla was walking on the counters and opening up cabinets, and she was the wild child, the girl that had nobody actually telling her no. When she went to Korea to be with Jehoon, his parents struggled with Drusilla also being all over the place with having no structure and no one telling her no. Production says that they dealt with constant interruptions while filming Deaven and the children, that they were filming and they were frustrated because she had no control over her child, and she wasn't even trying to control Drusilla. I mean, that's pretty much what we've seen almost the entire time we've watched them. And it made them feel powerless. So they say that the crew did their best to not show half of what they were dealing with. So it gets so bad, it's so disruptive, because Drusilla, she has no control of Drusilla, and she herself is a difficult person to work with. They say, the production says, they have to send someone from Sharp Entertainment. So Sharp Entertainment's head producer goes down there, and they say that they found it even very difficult. They said that her behavior was uncontrolled, and that she took issue with anyone pointing it out, that she would call them ridiculous. So she didn't want to hear feedback from anyone that her child had no self-control. She didn't want to hear from anyone that Drusilla was making things more difficult. She didn't want to hear anyone tell her anything about her parenting. So they say that they were so aggravated by this that they ended up airing the scene of Drusilla running off because they wanted this moment for people to actually see what it was like dealing with them filming with Deaven on a day-to-day basis. They say, so then you hear Deaven and Jehoon, and Deaven ends up blaming Jehoon for not watching Drusilla. But at the end of the day, Deaven is also her mother, and so it can't just be about Jehoon not watching her. She has to take some responsibility for it. What I find interesting in how she's reacting to this is instead of actually acknowledging that the feedback that people are giving her about her daughter is that she's being uncontrolled or it's unruly, and she's blaming Jehoon. She blamed Jehoon for the child running into the street. She's blaming Jehoon for now, she claims popping her in the face and pulling her hair and having a bald spot on her head. She's blaming Jehoon and saying that TLC is now paying for therapy for Drusilla. Part of me wonders if they are paying for it, is it more to help because they were having so many issues with controlling her on set, or because, maybe she needed therapy, or because maybe Deaven needed therapy. Either way, Deaven seems to have a lack of sort of foresight or even just the inability to look inward about how this all looks on camera, and instead blames editing. We know editing can certainly make people and portray people in a certain way. We know they have storyboards. We know that they set things up. We know all of these things. But we also know that there are aspects of shooting that are organic, that are, representative of what they're dealing with in their lives. And with so many people taking issue with her parenting of Drusilla, it can't just be that Drusilla, or that everyone has Drusilla wrong and she's right? No one can blame Drusilla for being Drusilla. She's a child. But the parent does have a responsibility to set boundaries and properly reinforce those boundaries with their child. Some people say discipline. In our house, we don't really discipline. We just do redirection, or we also talk with our child about, what he needs to do differently, right? With her, she doesn't seem to even know how to say the word no. And she also is spending so much of her time making Jehoon the bad guy that as viewers are watching this, all of them are seeing her get on camera constantly to defend the fact that she's the right one, Jehoon's the wrong one. She is acting almost childish to the point of being so upset about the way that TLC is portraying her when this is literally what she signed up for. She didn't have to come back for a second season, but it sounds like she's probably done now because they've split up. Her current boyfriend is not at all international. He lives in the United States, and there would just be no reason for her to follow. She's broken her NDA. She flat out broke it. She doesn't care that she broke the NDA. She's done. So where do you stand in this? You don't ever want to discount what somebody has gone through, but you feel like with Deaven, it's hard for me to take her seriously because it seems to be everyone else but her that has it wrong, right? So it's everyone else's fault, not hers. It's Jehoon's fault, not hers. And I don't think anyone is saying that Jehoon is perfect. I don't think that him admitting that pulling her hair is a good look. He shouldn't have done that. But I also don't think you can fully blame him in this situation. It would be easier for her to try to take some of the accountability herself. So what do you think? Is she difficult? Did this really happen? Is TLC paying for therapy? And is everyone else wrong and Drusilla and Deaven right? What are your thoughts in the comments below? Bye, guys.